It's noon in Kyiv. You're watching Our Time. I'll tell you the main news at this hour. I'm Ivano-Frankivsk. Hello. Russia's strikes are always aimed against humanity. That's how Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky responded to the massive overnight shelling. There is destruction in Kharkiv, Ivano-Frankivsk, and also in Kyiv. According to the president, 15 people have been injured. The youngest is 12 years old, and 2 people have died.
It is necessary to continue scaling up interceptors. This is the solution that will allow us to defend against massive attacks. I am grateful to everyone who is working in Ukraine and with Ukraine right now to protect lives, to ramp up weapons production, to strengthen our air defense, and to continue working on sanctions. Only real pressure on Russia can stop this aggression. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
Last night, Russia launched 450 aerial attack weapons against Ukraine. Among them were 426 drones, as well as cruise and aeroballistic missiles. Air Defense Forces shot down or suppressed with electronic warfare 200 UAVs and 24 missiles. In addition, 203 decoy drones did not reach their targets. And the number of people injured as a result of the Russian shelling of Kyiv has risen to 8. The attack was a combined one. Our film crew visited the site of one of the strikes. The combined attack by Russian drones and missiles on Kyiv and the region lasted about 5 hours. In one of the districts of the capital, debris from a drone hit a residential apartment building. Hearing the first explosions, people managed to get down to the shelter.
We never used to go down.
My daughter and I never used to go down. This is the second time. The first time we went down was last week, during the massive attack. And this is the second time.
A fire broke out on the first floor of this high-rise building. Within minutes, the flames spread to other floors as well.
There was a powerful impact. We were all sitting there, just 5 meters away from that apartment. The owner of the apartment came out, most importantly, unharmed. Everything started burning. Right away, everything caught fire.
Rescuers extinguished the fire over an area of 150 square meters. Work was interrupted during the air raid alert.
There was a warning about a possible repeat shelling. Even the rescuers and police all left the scene and asked everyone to take shelter.
The owner of the burned apartment, Alexander, was at home at the time of the attack. He says that at first, glass flew at him because of the shockwave. Then the fire started.
The front door was blocked, as were the neighboring doors. From the neighbors, the front door was blown out and it blocked mine. I was lucky that I could manage to push it out. I grabbed my computer, my phone, and left.
Another resident of the building was rescued by the state emergency service workers, and the injured person was handed over to the medics.
It seems to me that people have started to take air raid warnings more seriously and have begun using shelters. I hope that's why, right here at this location, only 1 person was injured.
Falling debris from strike drones was recorded in 5 districts of Kyiv. One of the metro stations was damaged, where people were hiding during the combined attack. A preschool facility was also partially destroyed, and civilian infrastructure and a garage cooperative were damaged. Elena Gromova, Ruslan Balazarov, for Freedom TV channel. The Kyiv region was also targeted by Russian occupiers. As a result of the attack, a large fire broke out in the Fastiv district. There, an administrative building and a warehouse caught fire, according to Ukraine's State Emergency Service. Rescuers extinguished the fire. There is also damage in the residential areas of Fastiv and Vishhorod districts. Fortunately, there were no casualties. One of the most massive strikes last night hit the Ivano-Frankivsk region. The Russians attacked with missiles and drones. According to the State Emergency Service, 4 people were injured, including a child. As a result of the Russian attack, several residential buildings were damaged. A fire broke out in one of them. An outbuilding, garages, cars, and industrial warehouse facilities also caught fire. 7 people were injured as a result of the Russian attack on the Kherson region. This was reported by the National Police of Ukraine. Among the injured are a child and 4 police officers. The shelling damaged an apartment building, 10 private houses, a medical facility, 7 vehicles, a cell tower, and critical infrastructure sites. In addition, the Khmelnytsky region was also targeted by Russian strikes. 20 residential houses were damaged there. Information about casualties and injuries is being clarified. Poland scrambled fighter jets in response to Russia's large-scale air attack on Ukrainian cities. The country's defense forces report that, in response to this aggression, Poland immediately initiated all procedures aimed at strengthening the protection of Polish airspace. Polish Allied air forces scrambled fighter jets, while ground-based air defense and radar reconnaissance units were put on high alert. And on the front lines, there were 154 clashes in 12 directions over the past day. Most of the action remains in the Pokrovsk direction, where 46 assaults were recorded. In the Lyman direction, there were 20 attacks, and another 23 in the North Slobozansky and Kursk directions. There, the enemy carried out 9 airstrikes, used 12 guided aerial bombs, and conducted more than 350 artillery shellings. In other sectors of the front, there are reports of enemy assault attempts near Kupiansk, Kramatorsk, Toretsk, Novopavlivka, as well as Pridniprovsk. Ukrainian forces are holding back the enemy and inflicting significant losses on them, both in manpower and equipment. A Russian motorcycle assault was thwarted by Ukrainian drones in the Lyman direction. One of the bikes was disabled by a direct hit, after which the rest were finished off by FPV drones, which ultimately destroyed both the enemy's equipment and personnel. It is reported that in this sector of the front, the Russian army is actively using motorcycle units both for logistics and for direct participation in assaults. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian has arrived in Kyiv. He began his visit by inspecting the aftermath of the Russian attack. The minister will take part in an ambassadors' meeting. Earlier on social media platform X, he stated that he would reaffirm France's unwavering support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, as well as the freedom of the Ukrainian people. Tens of thousands of containers with weapons, and now even food products on the shelves of Russian stores. Russia's dependence on North Korea is rapidly increasing. Plans include building a 10,000-kilometer railway between Pyongyang and Moscow, as well as launching direct flights between the two capitals. Why does the Kremlin need such an alliance? But who actually benefits from the rapprochement of these two isolated regimes? Nikita Skoblikov will tell us more.
North Korean producers of jam, sausages, beer, and even accordions are actively registering their trademarks in Russia. Moreover, according to the Financial Times, apples from North Korea have already started appearing on the shelves of Russian supermarkets. Until recently, Pyongyang traded almost exclusively with China, but now North Korea has a chance to enter the equally isolated Russian market. However, experts are fairly reserved in their assessment of these prospects.
The developing trade is likely to bring Russia only limited financial benefits. Most of the goods exported by North Korea are of little interest to Russian importers. Andrei Lenkov, a North Korea expert from Kookmin University in Seoul, commented to the Financial Times.
Pyongyang and Moscow are rapidly strengthening ties in a wide range of areas. Over the past year, North Korean university rectors visited Vladivostok, where they met with their Russian counterparts at the first Russia DPRK University Rectors Forum. North Korean athletes have participated in competitions held in Russia, while Russian theaters have performed in Pyongyang. The Kremlin is not interested in such initiatives, but it is absolutely vital to appease Kim Jong-un so that he remains willing to keep selling weapons to Moscow for its ongoing war against Ukraine.
From a geopolitical standpoint, this isn't just a slap in the face, it's outright humiliation. And by the way, many people understand this, including the partners of the Russian Federation. Russia is dependent on North Korea when it comes to continuing the war. Of course, North Korea will take advantage of this for a certain period, which, we should understand, won't last very long, but it will use this situation to push its own agenda and extract as many benefits as possible. Meanwhile, Russia will be, well, asking North Korea to keep providing this support.
While Russia continues to humiliate itself and becomes increasingly dependent on North Korea, Pyongyang is trying to use these showy events as an opportunity to prove that Kim Jong-un is not isolated at all. At the same time, the DPRK keeps making tens of billions of dollars off Moscow by trading in weapons. According to South Korean intelligence, Kim Jong-un has already delivered 28,000 containers of weapons and ammunition to Russia. Russia has received about 12,152mm artillery shells. But even that is not enough for the Kremlin.
They really don't have enough resources, specifically military resources, to wage a war of the intensity they started, a full-scale war against Ukraine in 2022. And yes, on the one hand, it's an absolutely paradoxical situation, a superpower that poured billions of dollars, not even rubles, but dollars, into defense, into strengthening its army, a country that was left with colossal stockpiles of various types of weapons after the Soviet Union, and yet, in the fourth year of the war, is getting 40% of its artillery shells, for example, from North Korea.
Let me remind you, in addition to arms supplies, Moscow managed to bargain with Pyongyang for 12,000 North Koreans to fight in the war against Ukraine. That's the figure cited by Ukrainian intelligence. South Korean intelligence, on the other hand, estimates North Korea's losses from January to March 2025 at nearly 4,700 people. But according to CNN, Kim Jong-un is ready to go even further. In the near future, he may send a new wave of soldiers to Russia, between 25 and 30,000 troops. Nikita Skoblikov for Freedom TV Channel.